Welcome everyone back to the European Journeyman save. In today's episode, we have our last two games in the Europa League phase against Feyenoord and Young Boys. Since you last left us, this is how we've been getting on. So the last time, I think, if I remember right, was the Randers and Brøndby game. Since then, we've progressed in the Cup. We've beaten Randers as well as Fredericia in the quarterfinals. So we are now in the semi-final against Nordsjælland. So we've got that after sort of the preliminary phase ends. In terms of Europa League, it's actually been going quite well. So we didn't get off to the best start, losing to Boavista, but we did beat Marseille, which obviously we mentioned last episode. We've went on a decent run. We beat Besiktas 5-1, who beat us in the Champions League qualifiers. So I don't know how they've dropped off so much that they could beat us over two games in both games, but then we've smashed them 5-1. Otherwise, we're just a much better side than we were at the beginning, which is probably the case. We then lost 3-2 to Brighton. A very late goal did get it, the win for them. So I did feel like we did enough to get a point there, but it wasn't to be. We then beat Hearts 2-0 at home, and then we beat Bologna 4-1 at home as well. So we've done really well. We are sitting 7th, actually. So to be fair, we've got a chance at missing that playoff round. We can go straight into the next round if we can hold on to that. Now, obviously, I think we've got two fairly decent teams, but they are below us in the league standings. So there's 2 spots left in the top 8. But our goal really was always just to get into the top 24, and I think we're definitely going to do that. As long as we get a point from one of these two, we've qualified. So that's definitely going to happen. We've definitely got qualification, but it's about whether we can finish at the top. League-wise, we are flying. We're doing really, really well. As you can see, not many defeats. We had one random loss to Silkeborg. Other than that, it's been a lot of wins. Now, obviously, we do have a game in hand as well, so we're 5 points clear of Copenhagen with a game in hand. Just the 2 losses in 16 so far, just the 1 draw. We are winning lots and lots of games. We've had a lot of goal scorers in the league as well. As you can see, plenty of goals being shared around. Heskey's got the most with 11, but then Archer's starting to score now. He's got 6. Gillam's got 8. Hassan's got 8. Griffiths has got 5. So, and even the midfielders, Nyheim's gone 6. Exchabe is on 5. Matsuma's got 4, the big centre-back. So, lots and lots going around. But as you can see, we have done some business as well. We are obviously in the midst of the January transfer window, so it's not done just yet, but it will be done by the end of this episode. But transfer-wise, since you last left us, so where were we in the world of the European Journeyman? We were early October. So what have we done since October? So a couple of players have left. So Jorg Mesa his deal had already been agreed. We already knew that. He's gone to Zaragoza for 325k. On January, Daniel Iverson left to Al Fatah. He is our backup goalkeeper. Obviously, we signed him on a free. He was only ever a backup, and we've moved him on to Saudi for some money. So we've done well there. Donald McNeely has left us. He obviously joined us as a free transfer. Just the 3 goals in 13. I expected a bit more for them. And then when a big £7.5 million offer came in from Bournemouth, it was a no-brainer. We've got too many strikers anyway, so it was a no-brainer. Jack Fletcher was a little bit we didn't need him. As you can see, chances were a little bit limited this year, just the 2 starts in all competitions, 19 appearances off the bench. We sold him on to Ipswich for 250k, so for a bit part player, came in on a free, sold him for profit. Not bad. And then one of our youngsters just went to another team as well. But we have done some business of our own. So first one is Antonelli Trubin. Obviously, last episode we were talking about bringing him in anyway. We had to kind of wait because of registration rules, but we've sorted all that out now. So he's in on a free transfer, and he's unbelievable. Look at him. He's a star. He's a world-class goal. Maybe not world-class, but he's up there. He's up there. He hasn't played a league game for us yet because obviously we're having to wait to register him, but he has played a couple games. 4 conceded in 2 games in the Cup, so maybe not as good as I think he is, but I think he'll be good. He looks like a very good goalkeeper. He's our new starting goalkeeper. We then signed Harvey Elliott on a free transfer. He's been out of contract. He's been without a club since last year. Obviously, he left Liverpool in the summer after having barely played for them since the saves had started, really. Played well whenever he's played, but he's just barely played. So he joins us on a free. He's going to be, he's retraining him to be a deep line playmaker. I mean, look at him. Look at him. £40 million value. on a free transfer. Very good. He's on a deal till 2032, so not a long deal for him. December of 2032 as well. Truben, a bit longer, June 2023. We've then signed a player for money. My God, Tobias Slotziger is a Danish homegrown in nation. We needed more Danes. We've went and looked at who's in the Danish national team basically and tried to pick up one of the better ones. He's 6'4" with an 18 jumping reach. Big valuation. We signed him from Arsenal where he wasn't really playing. And when he did play, he wasn't doing that well. He went on loan to Everton recently. But in game, he's from Odense Ball Club. Went to Arsenal for £9 million. Clearly had high potential and just never got used. He's obviously not really kicked on. He's 25 now, 20 caps for the national team. But he signs on a £25 million deal. So quite a big deal for us. But his valuation's double that. Double it in a bit. So technically, he's only okay. Mentally, he's decent. But yeah, physically looks very, very good. Quick for a centre-back, tall, can jump. It's exactly what you want. So he's going to be our new centre-back. So this is what I think the team's going to look like. And we have also recalled Glenn Rash. He came back from his loan spell. He had spent some time out on loan at Grenoble in the second tier of France and was done quite well. Obviously, he had a loan last season in the second tier of Denmark and he did quite well. So we needed to get these boys in because obviously we've got registration. As you can see, we're doing okay for it now. We have 3 homegrown players at club, 6 in nation. So we're looking much better now. 2 spots basically that we need to fill. So realistically, we could bring in one more player who's not homegrown. As you can see, we've also brought Christian Poulsen back in as well. With McNeely going, we needed basically a backup. So he's came in. He spent a little bit of time out on loan at Rosenborg, scored the 1 goal. Wasn't that good. He's probably not up to the level, but is just someone who can sit as a 4th choice striker. It's more than good enough. He's currently injured at the minute, as are a couple of the boys. But that's it. There's a couple. Everyone's kind of kicking off because apparently I promised them to increase the first team coaching, and that didn't happen. I've since went and asked the board to add more coaches, which they did, and we've added a coach, but it doesn't seem to have made them any happier. So they're all kind of kicking off. So a lot of them want to leave. Glenn Rash also had interest from Juventus, weirdly enough, but we need homegrown players, so I want to keep him. So it's weird that I think he's not that good, but then Juventus wanted him. It was only £10 million, which actually no, I think their bid was less than that. And I said if they pay 10 million, you could have him. I mean, if they do want to pay 10 million, they can have him, but I'd like to keep him. He's homegrown. So yeah, we've got some homegrown players now. Gulstorff obviously drops to the bench now, but this is the team we're going with, and this is the team we're going with for our first game of the episode. I know we've just had a big catch up, a big yap session there, but we needed to have a yap stam session just to get back to where we are. So this is the team we're going with. Truben in goal. He's now our highest star-rated player. Back 4 of Grootfarm, Matema, Slotziger making his debut, and Eric Karl, who is still out of contract at the end of the year. I'm not going to. I may renew it. I don't know. I haven't decided. We'll see. I think we can do better, though. Midfield 2 of Ekshkabe and Nyheim. Lacey on the right, Heskey on the left, and then Archer and Gillum up top. Hassan is a weird one. I kind of want to get him involved more, but I just think Gillum's a better player. I think it's pretty close, to be fair, and neither are particular. I mean, he's kind of unhappy. Maybe we just play Hassan. You know what? I'm playing Hassan because he's unhappy anyway, so yeah, might as well. Griffith has been good. Obviously, we've got Rash, we've got Dyer and Elliott in midfield. Canagard and Fisher as our centre-backs, and then Haruna. So we probably need a left-back, so that's what we've got the extra non-nation spot we're going to keep a lookout for. Obviously, a couple of players missing out through injury. Elliott is injured, but probably good enough to sit on the bench. So a first debut for a lot of these boys in front of you. Harvey Elliott potentially, Slotziger, Truben in front of you lot. He obviously has played for me off camera in the cup, but first time in an episode. So yeah, I mean, we obviously knew he was signing anyway. That's why we used him in the thumbnail for the last episode. But yeah, we'll probably use Harvey Elliott in this one. So we'll just keep throwing you these players out. Spoilers in the thumbnails, but there you go. But I think as long as we get a point from these two, we've done well and we've qualified, and that's all we really needed to do. I don't think we ever expected to finish top 8. If we can win both of these, I think we'd probably have to win both to get in the top 8, to be honest with you. So it's a big ask, especially the Feyenoord game, probably the tougher of the two, which is obviously the one we're playing first. But yeah, it's a big ask, and obviously there's a couple new boys in. It'll take a little bit of time. Matsima does get it clear, but it does look like Feyenoord are going to get themselves forward. But Maiheim does really well. And Nyheim, to be fair to him, has been in and out the side a little bit. That's very poor from Lacey. He's been a little bit in and out the side. Great work from Heskey there. Hassan now picks up the ball, who, again, he's got something to prove. We don't really have an out-and-out player, but it falls to Cameron Archer, who, to be fair, he didn't hit the ground running, but since he started scoring, it's been non-stop. He's scoring nearly every game. I always knew he was a good player, and that rocks us up all the way to third. And as you can see, we are looking good for it. If we can hold on to this win, potentially, we may just need to draw the second game. I don't know, but we'll just take it one game at a time. We've got off to a good start. Good little counter-attack to get us the opening goal. But yeah, what I was saying about Nyheim. So very much a case of... what was I trying to say? Very much a case of Dyer. Oh, that's very poor from Slotziger, but we do get it cleared. It was Dyer's position, and he kind of just didn't really do much with it. He's not really that good going forward. He's not really that good defensively. So he's kind of lost out to it now. Obviously, once we can get Harvey Elliott fit, once we can get him trained up in that position, it's probably his position. But Nyheim's been very good since he's come in. That's very odd goalkeeping from Truban, but it's worked. He almost dived onto it. It was very odd. But it doesn't matter. It remains 1-0. But yeah, I think Harvey Elliott will take up that spot. So I think we're looking good. And obviously, my contract is out at the end of the year as well. If we can win the league and potentially win the cup, obviously we can't just move on, but I don't think I'll be signing any new deals. I think if you don't sign a new deal, you just go on to like a month-to-month thing, which I'm happy to do because it keeps us at the club. Obviously, we don't need to leave. We wouldn't want to leave, but I don't think we need to. We want to be agreeing to anything. And if we do agree a new contract, it's probably going to be. I'm going to force it to just be a year. And if they don't want to add just another year on, then I'll just go month to month, because I think if we can win the league and the cup, we've probably achieved what we can do here. Obviously, we are studying still for our Continental Pro, which once we get that should give us a nice little boost. But if we can win the league and the cup, I think that should be... Oh, how has he not scored? Oh, I'm just yapping on about my qualifications as a manager. How has he not scored? Oh, that's really poor. Has the face cam frozen? I think the face cam froze there. I looked over and it looked like it was froze. So if that just suddenly went off and on the screen again, I apologise. But yeah, it looked like it froze there for a second. So keep an eye out on that. It looks like it's lagging a little bit weird. Very odd. But yeah, obviously, if we can get our Continental Pro, win the league, and potentially even win the cup, we should be 4-star reputation. And at that point, the fairly decent sides in the European leagues we've got loaded should be coming in for us. We'll tell the boys not to get complacent, but we are doing well. So, are we doing well? We've scored. We are winning, which is good. Lacey's not having a great game. I think we need to take him off. He's been a little bit disappointing, I'll be honest with you. Problem is, none of the other boys can really play on the right. Yeah, we'll bring Glenn Rash on. He's not really a right mid, but it seems like he can do a job over there. So we'll bring Glenn Rash on. Obviously, we want to see more of him, get him involved. Not really seen much from Hassan either, so again, potentially just stick with Gillum. Obviously, a couple of the boys aren't, a lot of the boys aren't fully fit, and that's because we have that big winter break here in Denmark, so that is part of the reason why not all of them are super, super fit. Groot Farm's on an awful rating, but doesn't seem to be doing that bad, so I don't know why he would possibly have gotten such a low rating. We will have the debut of Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott comes in. He can't play there, but he's going to learn to play there. He's going to learn to play there. He's not a winger. He's not quick enough to be a winger. He's absolutely a deep line playmaker. And Heskey gets on the end. Nyheim, just before he leaves the pitch, gets himself an assist. For some reason, I thought it was a weird motion in the game. I thought it wasn't going to get given, but no, it did get given. Harvey Elliott comes on for his debut for us, and we're looking good. I mean, if we're beating teams like Feyenoord, we can't be on the Eredivisie. We've got to be aiming for France and Germany and the big boys now. Oh, Mitrovic has got one back. Not the Mitrovic, but a Mitrovic has got one back for Feyenoord. Let's just hold on to this. Let's make a couple of tweaks. We will, first of all, what we will do is go full time wasted mode. We'll also make a few subs. Mila Griffiths can come on. I won't make any subs because I've used all 3 stoppages. I forgot about that. We'll just hold on then. Time waste up. Oh, no. Oh, no. Truban goes long, comes straight back at us. Groot Farm, lovely interception. Glenn Rash cuts inside. Glenn Rash loses it. What are you doing? Rash loses it. Matsima into Groot Farm. We're doing okay. Rash, stop losing the ball. Gillum into Archer, out wide to Groot Farm. Groot Farm running in. Tries to get it in the box, but it deflects back out. But he's got it again. Oh, Groot Farm goes all the way himself at a very, very tight angle. Andy Groot Farm gets his first ever goal for the club. Makes it 3-1. And it looks like we are wrapping this up. They've scored. There's only 3 minutes left. Do not let them get an equaliser. No, what is happening? No. You're joking me, man. Oh, 3-1 up with about 5 minutes left, and they've got a penalty to equal it up. Oh, I don't believe it. I do not believe it. That is absolute hogwash. Oh, they've scored it as well. Oh, that is such nonsense, right? Well, there's like a minute, there's like 30 seconds left, but I'll take the time wasting off. Well, that time wasting didn't do anything, did it? How have we not won that? Oh, the 92nd and 83rd, 92nd and 95th minute goals. Who's let that happen? Wow, those were some poor subs. Elliott, Rash. I mean, Gillum did okay, but Elliott and Rash, yeah, not great. Yeah, that was a capitulation in the last minute. I don't know what happened there. We dropped down to 9th. So we kind of need to win against Young Boys and hope that one of these two or these lot don't win, basically. That's a shame. Right, Young Boys next, which is a horrible sentence, but yeah, that's the team name. So for our second game of the episode, we are at home to BST Young Boys in the last game of the Europa League phase. We're going with the same 11. The only difference is Nyheim comes out and Harvey Elliott comes in, making his first start for the club. Didn't do great off the bench, but hopefully we won't hold it against him too much. He needs to get his fitness up. We need to get him playing regularly in this role he's training for. The rest of the team remains the same. Poulsen's back from injury, so he's on the bench as well. Biancheri will still miss out for a little bit, and Gillum's back in as well. Back in up front. Copenhagen want him on loan because he's unhappy. Yeah, right. So yeah, rest of the team the same. We know the scenario. We know we need to win to try and get into the top 8. Obviously, win, lose, or draw. We're probably we are qualified now. So we'll at least get into that playoff round, which I think is like round of 32. But if we can win, there is potential for us to get in the top 8, which would be good because we get to miss out on a whole round, which would definitely be good. And we should be, I think this is a team we can beat. So Groot Farm getting us forward, plays into Harvey Elliott, lovely ball into Lacey, into Gillum, and it's a decent save from the Young Boys keeper to put it out for a corner. Harvey Elliott to take. I mean, he's technically very, very good. So we should be seeing lots of good crosses, lots of good corners from him. It was a decent corner, actually, whipped in with quite a bit of pace. Hopefully he's got the legs still to play in the middle. If he doesn't, I don't know where we'd play him, because we don't play with a 10, which is probably where he'd suit the most. They've unlocked us there. Breel Donald Mbolos at Young Boys. He must have fell off. I guess it is. He must be kind of old now, actually, to be fair. It looked offside. They did unlock the defence, but it was illegally. It was offside, so remains 0-0. As you can see, as it stands, we are top of the pops. Well, not anymore. A win would, I think, put us into that group, but obviously you'd expect most of those boys in the top 8 to probably be winning their game as well. But we're doing okay. I think we should be winning this game, though. So we really need to get into that second gear. We do look like we are struggling a little bit. Potentially the winter break hasn't been great for us, but because we couldn't see out that very good result against Feyenoord. That's a brilliant save from Truban. I think he's going to be a terrific sign. And he did concede 3 against Feyenoord, but none of them were his fault. And we also gave away a daft penalty at the end. So I don't really hold it against him. It was more the other boys that were at fault. But hopefully we'll start to see some good stuff. Obviously, there's a few boys coming into the side, so it'll probably take a little bit for them to learn how we play, get used to the familiarity with the team, obviously dynamics with the rest of the team as well. Obviously the likes of Trubin, the likes of Harvey Elliott, Slotziger in the back line. Archer scored. I think he's offside though. It was a very good bit of play there. I can see Harvey Elliott's very quick, and he's very quick with the pass. He definitely seems good on the ball, but unfortunately it is offside. Is that... Oh no, that's Keller. For some reason I thought it was Kelleher, the Liverpool goalkeeper. It isn't. Blank whips it in. What a name, Blank. Embolo scored this time. His first of the season, which is mad. He scored his third. They must have just signed him. There's no way he's there and he's just scored his first goal. Embolo scored, and it is 1-0, which is not what we want to see. Lacey, that's a brilliant finish for someone who he hasn't scored many this year. I think it said it was only his third of the season. That is a fantastic finish from Shea Lacey to get us back level. He was definitely one that was potentially on the chopping box because we needed to free up a few slots in the team because we just had far too many non-homegrown players, and he was definitely one I was looking at, but he's done well there, and he didn't do very well in the Feyenoord game, so I'm glad he's got himself a goal. But we definitely don't look the better of the two sides. We definitely look the weaker of the two sides. And is that Matt Seamer giving away another penalty? I think he's a problem. I think he's a problem in this side, because that's a second penalty in 2 games he's given away by being just coming through the back of a player with a big tackle. Trubin didn't save the one against Feyenoord. Can he save this one to keep it level? Oh, he does. What a boy. Trubin, big save. 1-1. Lovely, lovely stuff. Remains 1-1. And, we are still in this. We still have a chance to finish in the top 8, but young boys are getting themselves forward. But this time, thankfully, one of the passes leading up to that cross in the box was offside, and it remains 1-1. I should probably have put the light on for this because it is a little bit dark in here, so I'll keep that in mind for future episodes to make sure to always check the lighting first. But there you go. Not a great half from us. Poor from a lot of the boys up top. Luke Gillum, you're coming off. Hassan can come on. Everyone else is doing okay. Group Farm never seems to get a good rating, but he never seems to do much bad in the game that I see. So I don't really know why. So I kind of just ignore his rating because he doesn't seem to ever get a good rating unless he scores or assists. And I don't really know why, because he never seems to do much bad. I mean, he's not done great there, but there was 2-on-1, so what could he have done? Trubin, decent save. We definitely look the worst of the two teams. This little break in games has definitely not helped us, to be honest. Potentially this back two, these centre-backs aren't the best choice, but they're both really big, and I expect them to score some corners. Slotziger gets up for one, but unfortunately. It is a very weak effort and comes into the hands of the young boys goalkeeper, who will launch it all the way upfield, and he's dropped. That is some terrible, terrible defending. He's offside by a mile here. He's offside by a mile. He scored. He's not offside. I don't know how that's not offside. He looked offside at least a good yard or two. That is mad. He's not offside, and we are losing the game now. For 2 games where I thought we probably needed to win, we've not won either of them. We're actually going to lose both of them. Well, lose one of them. We'll bring Heskey off. We'll bring Griffiths on. This is poor from us. It really is. We'll leave that there for now. Don't really want to take Archer off. He's probably our best striker. But yeah, I mean, this is poor from us. I think we expected, with the form we've been on, and we've beaten some very good teams in the Europa League. This is very unexpected. Perhaps that winter break's just killed us. Perhaps the changes, the players we brought in, not good enough. I don't know. I mean, Slotziger is on a decent rating, so I don't know. But we just seem to be conceding quite a bit at the minute. Matsima plays out to Group Farm with lots of acre of space to run into. Finds Lacey, who loses the ball. I mean, he scored earlier, but I don't like Lacey. I don't think he's a very good player. Potentially Harvey Elliott is a problem, and that's probably just because he's not fit and also because he's still learning the position. But there you go. He's not having a terrible rating, but he's not really done too much. Lacey on the turn finds Archer, who plays extra bay, who finds Elliott, who does find Archer. Over the top to Griffiths. Lovely touch. Hits the inside of the post. Unfortunately, it was offside anyway. And apparently the linesman on the other side can see an offside, but not our one on our side. We will make our final changes. We'll bring Nyheim on for Elliott. We'll also bring Keanu Dyer on for Eshchebe. And we'll bring Glenn Rash on for Lacey as well. Don't expect to do much difference though. And this is going to be a very disappointing loss. Thankfully, we'd pretty much already qualified anyway. Even if we'd have lost both games, we'd have qualified. So it didn't matter. But looking at the table, had we have won, we would have got top 8. So we would have missed a round of qualification. So it is a shame, but it's not the end of the world. Hassan picks up the ball, who hasn't really done much since he came on. Perhaps a poor substitution to bring Gillum on. Yeah, not sure. Archer into Glenn Rash, who does finish. Good stuff from Glenn Rash. And we do at least spare our blushes slightly by just drawing these 2 games and not losing one of them. But I think we should have been winning this game. And realistically, looking at the match stats, we're very lucky to get away with a draw. At least Glenn Rash got himself a goal. Hopefully, more to come from him. But yeah, not happy with that. 2 draws out of these. Does mean we still qualify, but we were always qualifying, but we didn't get into the top bit. Some money, nice to see. We are doing okay financially. We have a little bit of debt, but it's nothing too great. Our money more than supersedes that. So we will be in the playoff game, which will probably be next episode. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll obviously get through this. If there's any final bits of deadline day with our budget, probably not. Oh, we're trying to bring Jordan Henderson as a coach to make the players happy. There you go. So I think what we'll do is we will come back for probably this second round, the second leg of the playoff round, and then just we'll come back for the Aalborg game as well. So we'll play just a couple games off camera, come back for these 2, and then that will lead us nicely into the final phase and potentially some future Europa League games if we can get past these, whoever it'll be. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the European Journeyman, and I'll see you all for more very soon.